Ollie's already here. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Super Genius Business Minds, the two version. I know most of you all are familiar with our third amazing sidekick, Melissa. If you missed last episode, she's actually going to take a break because she's doing some amazing things in her business and around her book that's coming out. And I think at some point I'll flash that in the bottom screen if you want to support her. But for now, it is, I wanted to say Batman and Robin, but I don't know who Batman would be or who Robin would be. But we can definitely say we're the dynamic duo. We can say that.
That's the one.
So, as always, I am James, the Ascension Coach. I help people connect with higher states of consciousness, align with their higher selves, and discover their soul's purpose, empowering them to live a life of joy, abundance, and fulfillment. And I'll let the lady in the future introduce herself.
Yes, it's Tomorrowland. So Lisa from Tuesday. um, I basically help people become limitless. I'm talking to the people who are the soul driven, the action takers. They've done all the work, but they're still finding that they hit plateaus. They might be hitting a money ceiling. And basically, I use a powerful fusion of neuroscience, quantum tools, and ancient wisdom, some hermetic principles to help people really tap into their superconscious and literally bring all of their dreams into reality. So we have a very exciting topic today, James.
Absolutely, we do. And, it's so just fully transparent. I feel like this is a topic that I can talk about without thinking about, right? But for some reason today it was like I had to think about, okay, James, what do you want to say? What do you want to bring out? And I felt like I know it's going to just flow when we start, but I felt somewhat limited, as I was thinking about this. So I was like, I hope Lisa when Lisa said she has some prop for me, I was like, okay, great. That's gonna be the whole show right there. But we are talking today about what does this mean, understanding the language of the universe. And just briefly, it really came up as a conversation that Lisa and I had this weekend about just being able to read the tea leaves of what, for lack of a better word, right? Being able to read the tea leaves of what direction we were considering going, right?
Yeah.
And then I thought, oh, this is something I talk about, understanding language of the universe. We'll just make that the topic. And
Yes.
so, Lisa, where do you want to go with this? I feel like I'm finding my groove now, but where do you want to go
Yeah.
with this?
Yeah, that's right. It's funny because when Melissa said, and very graciously she didn't do it via text, by the way. She was face to face virtually with us and just said, guys, I have to take a break. And because we know that this book project that she's got that's coming out in September, um, first of all, it's whenever you do your first book, it's a really big thing and it's uncharted territory. So there's so many moving parts to it as well. And of course, you want it to be a bestseller. And I know that will be for her. And so immediately when Melissa said, and James said, well, what do you want to do? And I just said, oh, well, we'll take a break because it's like the three musketeers. Now we're the dynamic duo. And so that was my instant reflex, which is a really good thing that I'm going to talk about. And I know James will as well. But then when after the show, because we were like 30 seconds until live, and it was just like, oh no, let's have a summer break. And then I I actually turned it over for 24 hours, and I just thought, no, I reckon James and I can keep the ball rolling because we have beautiful people that enjoy the show, and we don't know what's happening out there in the cosmos because there'll be people who click on it. and we want to add value, and because this is just a candid conversation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Every week we're just speaking the truth, sometimes ruffling some belief systems. And then I came up, something happened to me. I was almost in a commitment where this time slot, that's why we're earlier, this time slot was going to clash. And as I was talking to James, I just said, I'm really starting to think about, why is this happening? And, I read the tea leaves as well, James. And so for me, I actually went into some very deep thought. But first of all, I want to bring the props out to just quickly, I guess, give scenarios of how people respond, react, go along with it. And when we're talking about Barry, for those people who don't know who Barry is, Barry's sort of been around since week 1. We're now in episode 13, are we, James?
13, yeah.
So Barry is a main character in the show, and he didn't have a name up until 2 weeks ago. So Barry's here today, and this Barry has hair. So, so I want to give 3 scenarios. Barry's just all heart as well. He's heart and a head, which, by the way, is a very important thing to have heart-brain connection, heart-mind connection. Okay, that's another topic. We can do that, James.
We could do that, yeah.
First response is what I would say probably 90+% of people do immediately. And this is our sympathetic nervous system, which is our stress response system. It's the fight and flight. It's a reaction to what is happening. And unfortunately, this is all subconscious programming going on in Barry's noggin, because it's a learned behavior. And when something happens, whether you like it or not, that gets turned on, because it's about 20 million times more powerful than our cognitive processing. The second response, which, when you've had a lot of lessons and you learn how to turn those lessons into wisdom, and you don't have a flash response. So this is the sympathetic nervous system. In caveman days, when you're running from a saber-toothed tiger, that was a really important thing to have. But in modern day, this is actually turned on. It's a known fact that is turned on. The second one is parasympathetic, which is called your rest and digest. So this is the resting state. And I like to use P is peace, so you can remember that. But this is the responding. So you're actually doing some thought before you give an answer, take action, whatever. So these are this is not so common. This is very common. And here we're going to talk a little woo, which is probably where James is going to lead as well. And this is our higher self. This is our superconscious, where James and I both took our thoughts into the tea leaves and started reading the tea leaves about this. And so I also like the S, as in surrender. This has been a very big thing for me, especially over the last 2 years. And I don't mean surrender as in give up. I mean surrender to why is this happening? What is the deeper meaning to it? And what do I need to let go of to allow this new situation to unfold, even though I don't know what the outcome is? And James, is there anything you want to chime in at this point?
I was thinking about another group that I was a part of in 2022 that I had to leave as I was going through my second dark night of the soul. Um, that group is that it was four of us, three ladies and myself. They're still thriving, right?
Yeah.
And so that was one of the things I had to consider also, that okay, Melissa's gone. What is it going to look like? This can still thrive. And really, honestly, I was hoping they would ask me back after after I came out of my dark night. I was like, oh, okay. I touched base with them. Hey, how you guys doing? I'm back. But everything happens. The only thing I will say to that is, I was telling my oldest daughter today, everything happens the way it's supposed to happen. There's no coincidences. There's no randomness in the universe. Everything is divinely orchestrated.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'll leave that there and let you finish. That's my view. Everything is divinely orchestrated.
Yes, which is where the surrender part comes in. Because what happens is most of us start to resist it and to fight it, which just messes all the stuff that's meant to happen with ease and flow. And so, our humanness gets in there and disrupts the whole thing. And what we really need to do is be guided by the unknown, as scary as that is. And what my situation is I've actually is this talking about Barry having hair?
You missed the comment. I said this is the younger version of Barry before he lost his hair. So it's like the former version of him. And so Ali joins in with this. So
That's so funny. Because the people who know me know that I had a very violent upbringing. My mother had violent psychiatric illness, and every day I lived in fear. It was literally survival in the extreme. And so there's been many years of me undoing the layers of trauma. And last year, my sister committed suicide in October because she never grew out of the darkness. And I'm in the situation now where I've been partnered with somebody for quite a while, doing some support work in holistic health and also high-level leadership and personal development for some clients with disability and mental illness. And I've just been given a client who is very unstable. She's extremely mentally ill and has been in ICU in the mental ward for 3 months. And I'm thinking, why have I been asked to be in this situation? And I know the lessons are for me. I don't know what it is. However, I know that what all of my life experience so far is going to somehow be able to tap into that lady's soul, even though her head's all messed up. Something to do with my energy being in her space, and for whatever reason, to be able to make a difference in her life. And so, I'm really I'm unsettled by it. But I believe that, and I've been thinking for a long time, I've actually never said this. I've only been able to, in my spiritual practices, being able to forgive my parents, and they're at the end of their timeline, and because to be in their presence it could be a very violent situation, and I don't want to put myself into that, and I don't need to, but I believe that forgiveness can be done on a spiritual level. Agree, James?
Yes.
And so what all of this is leading to is that I'm actually going to be writing them a letter to let them know that I've actually forgiven them, because that's one of the biggest things, I think, before people pass, is that they know that for all the wrongs that they've done is that they've been forgiven. So I just thought I would add that, because it's actually at the forefront of my mind right now with all of this happening.
Yeah. And I was going to go in another direction, but I think I'm going to go in a direction that you kind of left off. And this is how I personally work with and understand people who are in need of healing, whether that's family relationships. I've worked in the mental health field as well, and even I think I've documented and talked about how within the last year, a couple of people come to me with cancer. Cancer has been gone. When I think about things like offense or things like what appears to be somebody having done something to, always, this is my tagline: appearances are not the truth.
Yes.
If we are and subscribe to being divine beings, being our essences is love and consciousness and soul, then that the appearance of an other, because we're all one. There's only just this one consciousness. The appearance of the other, nobody has done anything. Soul doesn't cause offense. Soul doesn't hurt. Soul doesn't feel hurt, right? It's only when we are in our egoic mind, is when we are in this body mind kind of construct, that we think we can hurt and we think someone can hurt us. When I'm in my healing space, I don't see that. I see soul, and I go, soul can't be sick.
Yes.
Soul cannot want to commit suicide, because I've had some suicide cases as well. Soul can't have cancer. There's only soul. But I do know when I'm at a place where I'm seeing the appearance of a separate other, then I'm in my mind body. I'm disconnected from soul. And so even as I may get off the phone with someone that I'm going to be working with, my first thought is, this was a conversation that appeared as a dream. In other words, that person is already whole. That person is like, there's nothing. And what I would obviously, if someone shows up having the same dilemma Lisa has, I would go, there's no one that has ever caused offense. Everyone is innocent. And everyone is you. Like, even as you were talking, I was thinking the letter that Lisa was writing is really to herself.
Correct. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Because, there's, and it's all taking place, because Lisa told you I was going to probably come up with some woo stuff, but it's all taking place within the dream. And it's always a choice. Is the dream real, or is this 5D soul, the dreamer real? Because the dreamer is not the dream. The dreamer, and I could even go deeper than that, but there's two different aspects. So which one am I identifying with? And I was, shameless plug for myself, I feel like my higher self has been saying, James, you need to come out with this class. I already got the name of it, Will Thou Be Made Whole, or Will You Be Made Whole, where I talk about how to heal remotely, how to heal yourself, and how to heal other people. And it's the premise of it is all recognizing there's no one who needs to be healed.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just seeing the truth. It's just seeing the truth. And so that's that's kind of how, on this topic of what does this mean, understanding the language of the universe, this is what the universe is always trying to communicate to us, that we are something infinitely greater
Yes.
than what we can see. And I'm really going to mess people up with this. I've never seen Lisa. Lisa has never seen me. We've seen each other's character avatar, but the soul behind, I know it's the same as I know it's the same that, it's the same that I am, but there's, no one has ever seen the other, because there is no the other. There's only the self. And again, when you understand the attributes of the self, you understand who you are, you understand your power, but you also understand that there's only love, bliss, abundance, perfection. Even when we go, well, yeah, I'm not perfect. Well, yes, you are.
Yes, you
You just
are.
don't know. You just don't know who you are. So
Yeah.
that's my take on it. That's my take.
Yes, and so the act of forgiveness for myself has been over many years, and I realized I had to forgive myself because of the life I led, because of how my life unfolded, from a little girl onwards. And the this is funny how this conversation's actually done some really out there things. Yes, it is very profound. Is that knowing that we are all one anyway,
Mhm.
and that we're, because as our higher self, we're all one. The final, I heard a beautiful quote one day, and I cannot remember who it was from, is that the final act of love is forgiveness.
Yeah.
And so I've hugged your avatar.
Jason is he is something else.
Oh, definitely seen Barry. That is so funny. So yes, I know that all of this is still me, and so that it's still all just part of my evolution in this human form of
Yeah.
um, that ah.
That part. That
Yeah.
part. So we're going to begin to wind down. We're only doing about 30 minutes, and this was good. This is a good feel, because one thing that when I'm understanding what direction the universe is wants to go in, and when I'm talking to somebody else, the question I ask them is, how does each decision feel?
Yeah.
Because when we're talking about the universe is energy, and energy in motion or emotion. So at times you can really tap into, how do I feel about this, to really determine whether you are in alignment with the universe's direction. Because when you are in alignment, again, universe is energy, energy in motion. When you are in alignment with the universe's energy, it feels good. May not make sense mentally, may not make sense logically, but it feels good. And there you go. And when you're out of alignment, like, it may make sense, but it doesn't feel good.
Yes.
Again, the universe doesn't operate on logic. The universe operates on energy, emotion. So that's one of the ways that I did bring out. I was going to say I was going to bring out, but I just did. That one of the ways you can tell, um, what what area am I aligned with the universe in?
Yeah.
Just get out of your mind and get into your heart, and see
Yeah.
how that.
Yeah. Your heart space, even on a physiological level, has oh gosh, I'll come back with the stats next week, but it's the electromagnetic field coming out of your heart is even far more powerful than what's coming out of your brain, and the amount of energy in your brain can light up a city. So think about that for a moment. So that resonance coming out, our heart space is our soul. And so exactly what you said, James, that we can logically think that what we're doing the right thing, but we've got this angst inside of our heart going, oh, it doesn't feel good though. Well, hello. There's
Exactly.
the sign.
Exactly.
So go
Exactly.
into some deeper reflection.
Exactly. All right, my good friend, time to bring up that there you go. More props. So that is our time. We earnestly hope that we haven't lost, well, we lost a little something, but that we're able to gain it back, and that again we're still able to capture your attention. You're still able to have fun with us, while at the same time get some good nuggets in the middle of that. We'll be back next week with a different topic. We always love you all. As I always say, I love and appreciate you all, and love you all. And we will see you
Thank you
next
so
month.
much. Bye.